All right, this lesson is about adverbs. Now, adverbs in English and in French are pretty much the same. They're just different words, but they have the same function. In both cases, in French and in English, an adverb gives you extra information and answers some questions for your reader. It basically answers the question when, it can answer the question where, or it can answer the question how. Their function is simple too. They modify verbs, adjectives, or adverbs. Now, adjectives don't modify the same thing. They modify nouns and they modify pronouns. They give information about a person or an object. An adverb gives extra information about an action, about an adjective, or about another adverbs. If you want some extra information and examples, you have 3 examples of each here that you could read to better understand. Now, another function of adverbs is sometimes they can modify an entire sentence. For example, fortunately, he found his missing watch in his locker. Fortunately modifies the entire sentence. So it is possible for an adverb to modify all of these parts of speech. Now, some adjectives can be changed into adverbs. So sometimes we can take an adjective that we know and change it into an adverb, but there are spelling rules to memorize. So here are examples of adjectives that you can change into an adverb. We have the adjective safe. If we want to describe an action instead of a person or a situation, we would describe it by using safely. So how do you drive? I drive safely. What kind of driver is he? He's a safe driver. You see the difference? Adjective, adverb. I added ly at the end of my adjective and it created an adverb. But sometimes it takes one L, and take a look at this second one. What kind of driver are you? I'm a careful driver because I drive carefully, but it takes 2L. When do you know when to use a 2L or 1L? Well, the rules are written right there. So I would take a look at the different rules every time that you want to change an adjective into an adverb. There is no magic. At this point, you need to study these 3 different ways of spelling. If your adjective ends with IC at the end, you would add ALLY. For example, I have basic, it becomes basically. So basically, ALLY. If my adjective ends with a Y, I change my Y to an I and then I put LY and only one L. So it becomes easy, easily, lucky, luckily, angry, angrily. You saw how the Y disappeared and it was changed with an I. If my adjective ends with BLE at the end, I drop the E and I add a Y. It becomes incredible, incredibly. Now, why did this one have 2L? Because it already ends with an L. If it does, then it doubles the L and I put LY. There are exceptions because some adverbs are actually completely different. Kind of like when you study your regular verbs and they're completely different. These ones you need to memorize and know by heart. Good becomes well. That one is completely different. But take a look at all the other exceptions. They just stay the same. Low becomes low. Hard is still hard. Late is still late, and so forth. So that's easy to memorize. But you just need to know that these ones stay the same. Now, just like adjectives have different types, adverbs have different types as well. It's important that you know the different types, and to be able to understand the different types, you just need to ask yourself a question. What kind of information is this sentence giving me? If we take this one here, the parents spoke loudly and angrily. What kind of information is it giving me? It's giving me information on the manner, the way they were speaking. If I take this one, Marian practices the violin weekly. Weekly is an adverb that gives me information on the frequency that she practices the violin. and so forth. If you need extra practice in all of them, here's what you should do. You basically type some keywords. So you could basically take a look at rules about forming adverbs from adjectives, exercises, and type that into Google and you'll find the explanations and lots of exercises. You might find other videos as well. If you want to study the types of adverbs, type types of adverbs plus exercises, and I'm sure you'll find lots of exercises to help you. Finally, there are rules about the placement of adverbs as well. Depending on the type of adverb, some of them go after, some of them go at the beginning, the middle, or the end, and some of them only go before the word that they modify. To be able to memorize this, you could read page 210, and then do exercises. Even if you read the page 3 times, if you don't practice, you will never know where to place the adjectives. So what you need to do is either review the adjectives that we did in class or go online and type placement of adjectives or where an adverb goes in a sentence plus exercises and practice. You'll find little exercises online where you can move around the words and place the adverbs properly. Have fun, guys.